Welcome to UVTV, motherfucker. I'm in to kick spiritual ass and do this for my people on God. Nia nigga feather me, yeah. And today I'm gonna be talking about fear creates spheres of reality through the danger of expectation and stuff like that. Because when you're going through danger, it just deals with pain, harm, and loss. Now, kind of like my other video, I was sitting there talking about like when it comes about when from you being a part of life and stuff like that. It's like you being part of purgatory. It's like the in between portion between birth and death for the most part. So you're giving life to something. You can give life to a thought. You can give life to a feeling. You can give life to a concept and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you giving sentience to something. So you make something that was you make something that's lively. You make it a part of existence in some way, shape, and form. You birthed it. You emanated it. You're creating it to make it live its own life, and people can have their own attention span at their own you know what I'm saying, overall outlook of what you just created overall, right? So just in general, like basically dealing with danger and pain and harm and loss. Life isn't about the wins or the losses. It's just about what you was able to go through, just in general. So you're gonna go through the highs and you're gonna go through the lows, but you're not getting caught up in the high and you ain't getting caught up in the low. It's like spiritually moving yourself. So it's kind of like free will, just in general, but you're not getting caught up in one position of how to move. So you could be uplifted, you could be depressed, you can be righteous or be a part of something. You can move out of left field and try to separate yourself from something. You can move forward, you can move backward. So it's like in regret about something, just in general. You know what I'm saying? But you're not getting caught up in a this or that, a black and white, a dichotomy. You ain't getting caught up into a single shape and form, because that's what we try to do as spirits, just in general, right? We like to create shapes and forms. So we like to emanate. We like to observe. We like to experience. You ain't getting caught up into a pocket of time. One thing you already done experienced, you're gonna make more experiences and more moments and more things to analyze and more things to observe and more awarenesses that you want to add on to your capabilities and what you saw and what you went through, so you can have your own spiritual testimony, and it's going to add more characteristics and behaviors and mannerisms to you figuring out who you really are and what you can actually show from the pure state of being, and you ain't getting clouded up into something that got impurified. You get what I'm saying? So something that became a certain shape and form, whether that's a mental thought and feeling, or is something of the flesh or of the external world. You're able to let all those things go, and you're able to be free spirited, and you're able to always create again, or observe again, or make another pocket, another way of how you can create something and be birthed, or planting a seed so it can grow into a tree, into a garden of Eden, and that's the only thing that's gonna be everlasting or eternal, or high hanging fruit, if I want to use that as like an allegory, compared to low hanging fruit based upon instant gratification or monetary gain. So just in general, right? When it comes to fear, it just creates these fears of reality through the danger of expectation, because fear is just an unpleasant, strong emotion caused by anticipation, expectation, or the awareness of danger. So from you being aware about it, you're paying attention to it. If you're paying attention to it, you're adding attention span. You're adding some intent, like why are you paying attention to it, just in general, how much it means to you, and it creates that mentality, that mind matter, and then it's gonna go based upon the attraction of what you're focusing on, of what you're concentrating on. If you're concentrating on it, you're making it concrete. So you're making it concrete, you're grounding it. So if you're grounded it, eventually it's gonna turn into manifest and materialize. Eventually it's gonna be something that actually gets distributed or shown in your physical realm of reality and stuff like that, because you're so concentrated on it. You know what I'm saying? You're aware about it and you're concentrating on it. And from you concentrating on it, you're going to attract or draw energy based upon what you're paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? It's like some see it. If you see it, you believe it type of concept for the most part, but not like the way people be utilizing it. It's like from you seeing it in that way, it's only going to go as far as how you see it. So you're only gonna attract what you're paying attention to. You're only gonna attract what you already looking at, what you already seeing. So the way you see it and the way you look at it, all that matters for the most part. So you could see something, but you could see it in a real negative connotation, but you could also see it in a real positive connotation, or indifference, neutral stance, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's how you looking at it. It's how you seeing it. It's not about what you seeing. It's how you seeing it. So based upon how you seeing it, you making up your own things in your own imagination about how you want to appropriate it, how you want to go about it, and how you want to utilize it. Whether that be you want to stay away from it, whether that be you want to utilize it as a tool, whether that be you trying to create a new way of how to look at it just in general. But that's why it be important, based upon knowledge and wisdom, to learn from your experiences and learn from your awarenesses, learn from what you know, because knowledge is knowledge. So you can have another way of how to learn or attack the situation based upon your awareness, based upon the knowledge. So you could be aware about something, but you don't even know how to fucking use it. You know what I'm saying? And that's actual wisdom and being part of the wise men and stuff like that. You learning from the awareness and what you know. So you can know something, but you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know what to do with it. So it's just an awareness. Yeah, you're aware about it. You don't know how to utilize that awareness in no way, shape, or form, though. You just know, like, oh yeah, I be knowing. I be knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just overall, right? When it comes to life, it's not about the wins or the losses. It's always about like, what did you learn through those wins and losses, and then you're only gonna get what you deserve. So it's not about how much you win, how much abundant things you get, and how much you lose out of it, aka like the sacrifices or whatever, right? It's just about what you deserve and what you gonna get from what you put into something. So if you get caught up into the highs and the lows and stuff like that, you're never gonna go through another high. And without the low, you're never gonna get a high, and without the low, you ain't gonna get a you know what I'm saying? Like it's always like a mechanism. It's always like a dichotomy type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't have one without the other. Like you're not gonna learn or get to that next high or that next peak or that next abundant situation or living in peace or positivity and things of that nature without the pain, like without the loss, without sacrificing something. You know what I'm saying? Like without you letting go of certain things so you can hold on to something else. But you also can't go through that compression. You can't go through that depression. You can't go through the pain and loss without having something abundant in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to always be in that mentality of like, okay, eventually it's going to be a thing you're going to end up losing. Like, it's not going to last forever. It's like a monetary gain, especially when it comes to materialistic type of stuff. It's like a come and go type of way of looking at it. So it's kind of like, yeah, even if this is here or not, I'm still going to be okay. Because the only thing that's going to be eternal is your spirit anyway. What you credit for yourself. You believing in something beyond just yourself. So it's kind of like, okay, even if this come or go, I'm still going to create another way to how to do it. And I'm not going to rely on this creation. I ain't going to rely on just this specific shape or form of how to create it. Let me try to be self-reliant, more free, more independent, to where I'm not relying on just this creation, this idea, this feeling, this emotion, this mentality. I can create another mentality. I can create another awareness. I can create another outlook. You get it? You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be stuck on this one viewpoint, this one worldview. I can make another worldview. You know what I'm saying? So it's not you getting caught up into a dichotomy of the wants and the needs, the conveniences and the necessities. You're only going to get what you deserve. And then sometimes it's going to go in your favor. And then sometimes it's not going to go in your favor. It's like a thing of like, not the universe working for you or against you, is working through you. So from it working through you, sometimes it's gonna work in your favor, and then sometimes it's gonna be something that's gonna be self-serving or pleasant, and then sometimes it's gonna be like what this title of the video is, fear, which is just unpleasant, danger, harm, loss, pain. Sometimes it's not gonna be for you, but you shouldn't get caught up in that dichotomy either. It's working through you. So sometimes you're gonna go through that fear, and then sometimes you're not going to be in fear. Sometimes you're going to be courageous. Sometimes you're going to be brave. Sometimes you're going to be bold. Sometimes you're going to be in that situation to where it's like, oh, I do know something of how to go about this. Oh, I actually do have a lot of capabilities in this area and things of that nature. Oh, I actually do have something to offer in this area. Oh, I actually do have some certainty, some clairvoyance, some clarity about this. For the most part, I have some reassurance. I have some staple here. You know what I'm saying? I have some footing here. So I'm not going to get as lost compared to it not being that on a higher percentage scale of me being lost and me needing other examples or me needing support, me needing help and things of that nature. So like I was saying before, not getting caught up in wants and needs or conveniences and necessities, you start to understand, oh, okay, I'm working through these things, but I can't get caught up in either one. It's not about wins and losses. So I shouldn't be overly worrying about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because all these things are like mechanisms and transitions. It can go from you being nervous to you being worried or overly concerned, which can turn into you being afraid, you being scared, which turns into fear, which is gonna create a fear reality where you're getting lost into the expectation type of energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when motherfuckers be like, "Oh, you gotta expect the unexpected," not in a way of you need to be paranoid and stuff like that, and you always think something gonna happen to you. It's just like one of those things where it's like you can't get too much into a comfort zone. There's nothing wrong with being in a comfort zone, but you can't rely on that comfort zone all the time. You get what I'm saying? It's not always gonna go in your way. It's not always gonna go with what basically pleases you, what like soothes you, and things of that nature. So, just in general, once that actually happens, you won't be in distress. What's the stress? The stress is like distant stress or tension, whether the threat is real or imagined. So, something that you made up in your mind and stuff like that. So, it's far away from a distance. It's something that ain't even happened yet. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, fear creates fears of realities and stuff like that. So it's like the atmosphere, the sphere at most, the world at most. You're creating like a worldview, but it's like a negative worldview. You get what I'm saying? It's like a negative space. You're putting yourself in a negative space. You're putting yourself in an uncertain space. You're putting yourself in a stressed out type of space for the most part. And the stress is just distant stress. So it's like you're anticipating it or you're expecting some shit to happen if I do or act out in a certain manner, or if I do this based upon societal norms and how I got programmed to act in certain environments and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you living your life in fear from some anticipation of some shit you ain't even do yet. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to learn from the fact of, oh, you could probably learn how to apply yourself in that situation if that were to happen. I'm not trying to say that to make you be like a spiritual crackhead or some shit like that, to where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go seek out fear so I can be fearless and stuff like that. No, it's you understanding sometimes you're gonna be fearless and sometimes you need to fear more, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to just sit your ass down. Sometimes, yeah, you just don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're creating the world itself. So it's gonna create that fear reality of, oh yeah, you should anticipate or expect this if you do this. But at the same time, you shouldn't live your life in fear though. Like, you shouldn't just do nothing. It's just a thing of, oh yeah, sometimes you should expect some shit to not go in your way, and then that's it. And when you get too caught up into the negativity or the uncertainty, it's gonna lead to anxiety. It's gonna lead to disorders. It's gonna lead to distress and you being disorganized and you not knowing what to do and stuff like that. And it's like you putting yourself in that regressing type of mind state to where you end up not experiencing nothing or creating more experiences for yourself, because in the back of your mind, you always thinking about all that anticipation of danger, all that fear, oh, what about that? What about this? And stuff like that. In that constant self-doubt, clouded type of energy and stuff like that. Where it's like, nigga, you could have put yourself in a circumstance and situation where if you actually showed or experienced that thing and stuff like that, you end up realizing, oh, it's not even that bad of how I made up in my mind. You get it? Like, because anxiety is just you worrying about the wrong things and not knowing how to worry about the right things just in general. So it's kind of like you're always gonna, it's not a thing that's just gonna go away. And a lot of people be saying that because it's true. It's not just gonna go away. Even celebrities and stuff like that, you're always gonna have anxiety and stuff like that. You're always gonna be fearing something. You're always gonna be nerve wracking or nervous about something. And sometimes you probably don't even know why. You could just be empathic. You picking up certain energies in the environment and stuff like that. And then sometimes from you acting in that nature, you end up picking up some shit going down before it even happened, like a shootout or some shit like that. And you end up avoiding the situation because you was in that energy and stuff like that. But you was able to utilize it in a positive circumstance and stuff like that. Oh, you was able to detect some shit of the atmosphere, some fear that's around, but you ain't get fear monger or nothing like that. You just all like, oh nah, motherfuckers moving weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting bad vibes right now because of this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that type of way of thinking for the most part. So it's kind of like based upon that anxiety, when you overly worry and you overly be nervous about shit and stuff like that, you end up worrying about the wrong things during the wrong time, during the wrong circumstances, and you don't know how to worry about the righteous things. You don't know how to worry about the right things for the most part, because you're always going to have anxiety, but you could be using that anxiety type of energy for something more creative, for something more productive and things of that nature. So you still always going to have that anxiety, or you're always going to be worrying about something, but you could be worried about something way more productive and way more creative and stuff like that. The more you simmer and the more you be distressed, and the more you put that energy towards some negative type of thing on a higher percentage scale, that's all your life gonna be, because that's what you're paying attention to, and that's what you're gonna attract. So you're gonna attract a lot of demonic type of energies to make you not look at stuff from an angelic point of view or a higher angle, because you're so clouded or distraught, or you're so focused on some low-hanging fruit, some monetary gain, something that's gonna come and go, instead of putting yourself in a broader perspective of, oh, okay, sometimes that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just have to know how to work through it, work through the anxiety, work through that, you know what I'm saying, that low moment and stuff like that, and still try to persevere, still try to keep going. And I can't stop, because the minute you end up stopping, the minute you end up stopping, you end up, man, you stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you basically just stuck. You're gonna be froze, bro. You're gonna freeze the fuck up type shit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up missing your moment. You end up gonna be like super hesitant, but you're being like so hesitant to the point to where it's all like, damn, nigga, you ain't learn how to cross over. You ain't know how to hesitate. You know what I'm saying? You ain't learn how to hesitate on a motherfucker. You ain't know how to move. You didn't know how to maneuver out the situation and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You end up letting someone else taking up your spot and shit like that. When you know you was good at that thing. You know you was good at that thing, but it like someone else end up taking up your position, even though you probably better at that position than someone else, but someone else end up getting that position before you because you was being hesitant or you was being scared and shit like that. You got caught up in a fear of reality and stuff like that. So when you with God, you're with all possibilities and chances and the potentiality of something. And fear only causes you to miss your chances of what's possible, of your capabilities, when you get too caught up in that negative emotion and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that self-doubt with a lack of assurance, and you being concerned about a whole bunch of bullshit for the most part. You know what I'm saying? You caring about something that no one else is caring about. Only you caring about that. You know what I'm saying? It's some shit that you made up in your mind, and only you caring about that. Not everyone in the world caring about that. And then motherfuckers end up finding out like, oh, why you worried about that? Why you caring about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds like, you know what I'm saying? Like you worrying about like the wrong thing at the wrong time in the wrong situation, all that type shit. So you have to understand, like, to consider something is also being inconsiderate. Not inconsiderate like, oh, you not giving a fuck, or you not caring and stuff like that. It's just acknowledging. And like I was saying before, knowledge is just knowledge. So you have to consider, oh, people are gonna see it the way you see it, and then some people are not gonna see it the way you see it. So when a motherfucker starts sitting there being like, oh, you just being inconsiderate, or you just being an asshole. No, it's me understanding and me considering what people aren't considering type shit. So I'm considering, oh, some people are not going to give a fuck about what I care about, what I'm considering, what I'm acknowledging, what I see. Some motherfuckers ain't going to see what I'm seeing. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start understanding like the whole mechanism. It's not like a this or that type thing. I'm really trying to take out of that with a lot of different things. Y'all be looking at things based upon an economy. Oh, it's either this or that. It's like a mechanism. So based upon that mechanism, you have to understand like, oh, these are things that are going through you, not something that's going for you or against you and stuff like that. You just gonna understand, oh, sometimes you're gonna have your pocket, and then sometimes you're not gonna be in your pocket. Sometimes you're gonna be kind of distressed, out of whack, and you out your mind, but you kind of gonna become out your mind to find your mind again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a deep thing, bro. It's like a deep thing. But the more you able to go through that fight or flight and stuff like that, you're gonna be able to endure and have higher resilience. You're gonna have higher tolerance for the most part. You're gonna have more spiritual strength, more mental strength to go through more experiences, to go through more situations. And even if it's something beyond just, you know what I'm saying, just you and your people, like you and your siblings and your family and stuff like that, or your close friends, it can go beyond just that, to where it can go even more distant beyond just people in your close-knit circle. And even, you know what I'm saying, it's like being yourself around 1 million people type shit. So it's kind of like, it's like you're gonna have the anxiety, you're gonna have that nervousness, being nerve-wracking and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be stressed out sometimes, but you don't get caught up in that fear of reality. Sometimes you're gonna be in fear, but you don't get caught up in that fear of reality for the most part. You always able to just go through it. You know what I'm saying? You're able to go through that anxiety. You're able to go through that nervousness. But from you going through it, it's gonna make it so you have a higher tolerance. So it's gonna lead to more situations to where, oh, that fear or the anxiety or that nervousness, the only way it's gonna affect you is if you go through an even bigger situation than what it was before, and then eventually it's gonna turn into some shit like, oh yeah, it's gonna take like 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 10,000 people, 100 people for you to even, you know what I'm saying, be shook up like that and things of that nature. But then But it's like, yeah, bro, the whole thing is like a mechanism. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, fear only creates fears of realities based upon the danger of expectations and stuff like that and anticipating something. So once you get out of that anticipation, expectation type of energy and stuff like that to where it's like, oh, okay, I expected this to happen, and someone was gonna fill up to this obligation that they said they was gonna do and stuff like that. Even though it'll be fucked up when motherfuckers be doing that to where they was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do this thing that I said I was gonna do for you because of this, that, and the third, and then you anticipating it. They like, oh, okay, like I'm giving you my trust, I'm giving you my face, I mean my faith of you actually getting that thing done, and then they end up not doing it, and then you end up being disappointed, and then you end up looking at them like, damn, like this motherfucker really ain't do that shit, and like I really expected them to do this shit. Like I needed them for this because of this, then, and the third. But then it take you back to that same position where God be trying to show y'all you can get caught up in that expectation, anticipation type of energy of, oh, it's not always gonna go in your way, especially when you give that trust to other people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There is no such thing as a truth without a lie. You know what I'm saying? So from you relying and you having too much confidence into somebody else, all they doing is showing their true state of being. Their true state of being is, oh, they're unreliable because they wasn't able to meet to your expectation. But that's the problem. Why would you give them so much expectation in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like the more you start looking at life like that, you ain't gonna be tripping and stuff like that. It's not to say you can't get on a motherfucker or curse or be disappointed or cuss their ass out and stuff like that. But it's kind of like you able to move on from a situation faster type shit, because you'll sit there and look at it like, man, this motherfucker really did that shit. But it's like, man, oh wait, I'ma still get it. I'm still hustle. I'ma still find a way. You know what I'm saying? Like this motherfucker unreliable, or this motherfucker did not meet to my expectations or my standard and stuff like that, but it is what it is. I found somebody else, or I do it myself. You know what I'm saying? It makes you be more independent, self-reliant, free-flowing, and you don't get caught up into a pocket of time. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna get super hyper focused. Like, man, this motherfucker ain't do this and do that, and I'm gonna just make the world pay. I'm gonna make the world feel what I'm feeling and stuff like that. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna turn into like some self projection type of energy when you don't know how to self reflect. You start self reflecting of like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker was supposed to do this, that, and the third, but you know what? You know what, bro? All I'm learning is this motherfucker is just unreliable. They ain't meeting up to their own expectation. They said they was gonna do something, they ain't do it. So it's like whatever. I'ma do it. I'ma find someone else to do it. I'ma create another situation to where it can get done. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna get too shaken up about this shit. You like, man, I'm gonna figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. So to be fearless for real, you're gonna end up fearing more. You know what I'm saying? So if you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna end up fearing more, it's just gonna make that sphere, that world bigger and stuff like that. So for you to lack it or be less of it, just in general, is gonna it's like an expansion contraction type of energy and stuff like that. Certainty, uncertainty, positive, negative, masculine, feminine. You know what I'm saying? Expanding, progressing, externalizing, and some feminine, internalizing, taking, condensing. Masculine side will be like providing, creating, um, protecting, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Externalizing, internalizing for the most part. Expansion, contraction. So it's like the more you be fearless, you know what I'm saying? You have that lack thereof of that fear. It's just gonna make you want to fear more type shit. Not to say, oh, you're gonna be seeking it, even though it do play out sometimes like that, like motherfuckers who like daredevils and stuff like that. Are you gonna try to find something to fear, just in general? But it's just you fearing more. You're gonna make that sphere, that world bigger. Like, oh, I'm gonna try to expand it further and push the boundary or something so I can find something that I can fear, so I can, you know what I'm saying, be fearless about it again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a mechanism, bro. Like the shit get deep. The shit get deep. But it's just the sphere of reality of the dangers through an expectation, or you anticipating something, but you can't get caught up in the expectation or the anticipation and stuff like that. It's just like a is what it is type of thing. And then from it being is what it is, you end up getting the truest essence of what that is, and then it's gonna make you have that lack of fear, and you understanding it's not this or that the universe working for you or against you and stuff like that. Is working through you, and then sometimes you're gonna be in fear, sometimes you're gonna be nervous, sometimes you're gonna have anxiety. It's never really gonna go away, but it's how you handle it. It's how you go through it, so you can go through experiences of learning how to take on more of the fear to make a bigger sphere. You know what I'm saying? Make a bigger atmosphere, make a bigger world. So it's gonna add more to things that are try to they're basically gonna try to fear monger your ass and stuff like that. But if you ain't gonna get mongered or you ain't gonna overly focus on it and stuff like that, it's only gonna add to your mental resilience and how much you can take on just in general. And you end up facing your fears in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,